I sold everything to get into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Some people are calling me crazy, others believe in my vision. So let me explain to you what I see, but first let me explain to you what I gave up. So first thing is first, this isn't, and I'm gonna make this very clear, this isn't to brag about what I had, nor do I care about things anymore. I used to be very infatuated with things, and the stuff that I have is gonna be a direct reflection off of that. And I had a lot of finding to do in myself in order to realize that that stuff just didn't make me happy. So on the screen, as you see, I had one of these, a Richard Mille. As a matter of fact, and I'll post this on the screen, this is the sales receipt. It's for $100,000 when I sold this watch to the jeweler. And so I also had a Lamborghini, a brand new Lamborghini Huracan that I bought in 2017. I'll post this as well. So my company ended up purchasing it cash. Now I'm not gonna go ahead and post this particular article, but I did buy it cash, and currently we're selling it. And I don't have it in my possession anymore or anything else, but why am I telling you this? Those are some of my, and I sold other possessions, but those were some of my favorite possessions that I ever had, and I worked very hard to get them. And then I decided one day that I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to give up everything. I sold majority of what I own. If you were to look around my home, all I have is a desk, a computer, and the light, this camera, my kitchen, my dogs, my bed. That's all I need. I don't need much, nor does anybody else really. And I notice all this material stuff isn't going to do what my end goal is. One of my biggest goals is to buy my parents a very decently sized house, because my grandmother lives with them as well. So my grandmother is the one who helped raise me, and I want to make sure that I can provide to them the most comfortable situation possible. And I know that my parents aren't getting any younger, and that I'm gonna one day, as the only child, need to step up to the plate and take care of my elderly parents. So all these things that just depreciate aren't really going to satisfy me later on when I have less time with the people that I love. So I sat there by myself and I reflected, and I had to think to myself, where can I put my money, my capital, to work for me without earning a few percentage points every single year? What asset in the world currently has a proven track record to see double digits, if not triple digits, in returns every single year, and it's a thriving and growing market, and it's easy for me to get into without needing to have $1 billion net worth in order to get involved with, right? Like a hedge fund, if you will. So I turned to crypto, and everybody was talking about crypto, and everyone still is talking about crypto. So upon selling everything, I just decided to go deep into crypto. And these are a few things that I learned that I want to go ahead and I want to share to everybody else. The very first thing that I see is everyone's chasing the incorrect goal. Everyone's looking at crypto as a way to go ahead and lead them to Valhalla, that promised land, for them to become overnight millionaires, overnight billionaires. And unfortunately, that's not going to happen. This is a long-term play. You have to understand this is more than just investing, this is a vision. You're betting into a very speculative market that you believe and you think the world is heading into. So if you believe that the world is going to go heavy into cryptocurrency and everything's going to be revolving around cryptocurrency, and you know, the whole central bank argument and all that's for a different video, but if you believe the vision of what crypto is trying to achieve, then you'll also understand this is for long term. But I also took a look and started realizing that not just myself who was interested, but so many other people were interested. And so I started diving really deep into other companies that put Bitcoin on their balance sheets, not just Tesla, not just MicroStrategy. And so I started looking at all these different companies and seeing their holdings and seeing exactly what they were doing. So I started dissecting the companies, but more importantly, instead of dissecting the companies and why they did it, I'm more interested into the founders and why they did it, the CEOs. Because if we think about it, it's a mental game when it comes down to investing in a very speculative market, especially for companies that are under the microscope because they're publicly traded and they're not using their own money per se, but they're also using investors' money in order to invest into a very speculative play. So that led me to find somebody like Michael Saylor. And Michael Saylor is somebody that I really look up to, not because of the simple fact that he's extremely intelligent, but because of the simple fact that he understands the vision. So the vision of where crypto is going, what Bitcoin truly is, which is a store of value, and how it's deflationary. Now, when it comes down to it, I had the option, one of two things: hold my money in US dollars, where again, it will go ahead and it'll just get hit with inflation and my dollar will be worth less every single year. Or I take the same exact dollar that I have and then I go ahead and I basically make it a little soldier for me and make it go out and work and essentially make that dollar worth more, not less, than it is worth just sitting in my bank. Now you can have the argument of letting it sit in a savings account for less than 1% a year. But because I like to take chances and I believe in the future of crypto, I also truly do believe that yes, it's very speculative putting into something that can drop 50% overnight or something that can go to zero if it's a bubble. But I also do believe that taking my chances with something like that, and that is super speculative, can also have very big rewards. Now, one of the other biggest things that I really want to go ahead and convey to you is if everything were to fail and I were to lose all my money, it sucks, but I would end up back in my parents' basement with the same knowledge that I have on building businesses and being able to build another business from scratch. And that's the way that I look at it. So essentially, I will take the reward as I have no children and I have no wife or really anybody to take care of, just my dogs and making sure they're fed and have a roof over their head as of right now. So I'm willing to take that chance. So long story short, I don't want to bore you with a long video. I just want to let you know what I did and why I did it. I see the vision and I see what cryptocurrency is trying to become and what the future holds. I also do believe that some of the world's smartest people, like Elon, like Michael Saylor, visionaries who can see ahead of what's just happening right now, if they're saying, listen, this is going to be, this is going to be massive, we should really pay attention. Not only that, but there's only 100 million people that are involved in the cryptocurrency space. That means we have so much room to grow since there's over 7 billion people on Earth. And with with Elon Musk launching their internet, I forgot what it's called, their internet program to have internet for everybody in the world, that means more people are going to get connected to online, which means it's going to open up the horizons for cryptocurrency users, which means that the market is going to expand. And yes, am I ready to go ahead and put it all on the line for the future? Absolutely. Am I willing to go ahead and risk it in order to go ahead and achieve what I said in the very beginning? For my goal is to help my parents, to make sure I always have something there when they get elderly, and to make sure they're taken care of right now? Absolutely. Is it a risk that you're willing to take? Make sure it's a calculated risk and you understand your situations and your circumstances, because your situation and your circumstances are going to really dictate on how much money you should invest. I went all in. I'm letting you know, I went all in. And if it pays off, great. If it doesn't, you guys can rub it in my face. But if not, I hope that this works out, and I hope in a few years' time we come back to this video and it ages like fine wine. But this is why I sold everything and put it all into crypto. I'll see you very soon. Have a great one. And by the way, if you enjoyed this, maybe if you like my content, maybe consider subscribing. That would really help the channel. I'll catch you guys soon. See ya.